Hi, how's everyone? Welcome back. Hello and welcome if you are new. I'm glad you found me. We're doing the love reading today, Love with the Fairies. We're using the Fairy Oracle deck by Brian Froud. We will get one card for both people and a card for the health of the connection. Let's see what the fairies have to say. Uh-oh, we've got the Glankener. Okay, somebody has a Grima Wormtongue in their ear. Or they are their own Grima Wormtongue. I always have to say that to clarify. There is some negative self-talk around somebody. Can we get person 2, please? Oh, no, not that many. Person 2, please. Remember, not all messages are going to resonate for all of you in the same way because you're all at different points in the timeline. Everyone involved has free will. Okay, we've got Teom the poet. The forlorn poet. Looking off into the distance. Can I have one for the connection, please? Give me one card for the connection, please. Thank you. Ooh, the sage. Okay. Let's see. The sage here represents judgment. He is a combination of the hermit and the shaman. This is inner wisdom, hidden knowledge. Okay, so there might be something hidden here from one or the other or both. And the connection I heard is keeping it very safe or very, keeping it, what's the word? I don't know why it's like under lock and key, keeping it hidden, keeping it away. They have to search for it, I heard. You've got to look for it. This is not going to come easy. It's not supposed to. There's detachment here in the connection. Contemplation. Okay. Discovering and simplify. Interesting. So, person 1, we've got this character called the Glankener, and he is, like I said, a very Grima Wormtongue kind of energy. Sly, smooth talker. There's lies here, flattery, illusion, and delusion. There's also lust, blindness. That's an interesting concept if you think about it. It says dig deeper. There is glamour or spell work here. So somebody is caught in some other person's they're saying glamour. Hang on, I'm listening. Deceit, no. Someone's caught up in some other person's web, you know? And think of, it's not just the stickiness of the web that's keeping them there. It's the intricacy of the weaving of the lie. So that's why somebody here is stuck in that energy. It's the intricacy of the weaving of the lie, of the every word went into this strategically in order to keep this person in this energy of being caught. Okay. Also with this image, if you can kind of see on the image, it almost looks like he has a second mouth on his forehead, but it's closed, but you can see it poking through. It's like his third eye chakra where it should be. There's a rock there or a mouth there. I can't really tell what it looks like, but it's gray like a rock. It's like looks like a mouth, but it's closed, meaning there is something there that they are it's like they're silently bringing into existence even when they're not speaking it. I don't know if that makes sense because this is talking about spell work, weaving this lie, and using words to do it. But with that mouth in their third eye, it's like what they are speaking is not the truth. Okay. Now we've got person 2 here sitting in Teom the poet energy. This is watching from afar. Yeah, youthful energy, clear sight, poetic gifts, fantasies, um, romantic. It is the watchful poet. Mm. Sam is one of the stone men, but he's a young one. And he's been sitting and waiting so long that he used to have wings, but now they're almost turning to stone. So that's person two, sitting and waiting and longing and watching through the connection to what's happening. Sensing what's behind them, I heard. Because even though this person is turned away, because when you're sitting there thinking, and then your head kind of turns and your attention kind of wanders, their ears are still pointed backwards. The senses are still connected to this connection. But the connection is being represented by the sage. There is detachment here. It's like somebody's detached from the connection and somebody's still listening into it. I guess it's one way to look at it. So we're going to get some clarifiers here. So, like I said, the Glenkener, there's smooth talking here. There's flattery, there's lust blindness, which means somebody's being enchanted with the bits, the the naughty bits. Somebody's got a spell put on them with naughtiness, sex magic, you know. Um, Hang on, I'm hearing something. I heard I got him, but there's something underneath that. Huh. Clarify the Glenkener for me, please. Who's the sly smooth talker? We've got a Four of Pentacles, a miser. That could be financial, but they're, okay, Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups with that shooting star on it. Okay, come on. Break out of that. Okay, it is financial. We've got a Four of Pentacles. Somebody being very stingy with the money. Okay? Very stingy with the effort, the investment. So somebody is not investing as much into this, but they're manipulating it. They're manipulating the hell out of this commitment from this person, even though they themselves don't want to invest anything in it. Because there's this Eight of Cups. I feel like person one has tried to walk away before. Because with some distance, they can assess something, and they know that ending it would be a new beginning for them. See that shooting star up above? That's a new direction. The star beckons you. It gives you somewhere to aim your goals. And they're trying like hell to keep the idea of moving on in check. Like I said, this could be the other person they're dealing with, or it could be them. They're trying like hell to keep the idea of moving on from this in check. Okay? We also have the Eight of Pentacles here, but we've got the back side. So the front side is working towards tangible goals. You see how solid those pentacles are that he's been working on? But we dropped the opposite side. And on the opposite side, you can see that the shininess of those pentacles that he's working on is an illusion. But it is for some kind of future. So it's like he's trapped at this grindstone, setting up this future that's an illusion, because in the light of these pentacles there is a child there. So this could be that they have a kid with this person, or it's just the idea of passing down your expertise to someone. There is some kind of working towards a future, but it's false. It's false. So maybe this person has someone talking in their ear about a future that they're building towards, that they're going to leave their legacy on, and it's not real because there's nobody investing in this. That miser is keeping everything to himself. This is possessiveness and hoarding, materialism and insecurity. This can also be somebody who maybe does not have the finances to move on. But mostly I'm feeling, along with this Glanketer energy, this is somebody who has been trapped in some kind of financial obligation to a future that is no longer tangible, but they keep working at it. Okay? And in the middle of that is this longing to leave that behind and follow a new direction because they know those cups are empty. Right? Somebody is being miserly with the effort. They're working for something that's an illusion, and all these cups are empty. That's why in the Eight of Cups, they have to walk away. So eventually, they're going to have to walk away because shooting stars don't last forever. There's a feeling of timing here. Okay? And I remember recently there was something coming out with the Wheel of Fortune that once the wheel starts to turn, you've gotta ride it, otherwise you're gonna miss your opportunities. And this shooting star coming out of the darkness here, they are very fleeting. So it's almost like he's kind of turned his back on the opportunity to follow that. But we'll see. We'll get some clarity. Can we get person two, please? Why are they Teom the poet? I mean, I can see why. But is there any hope for this person sitting there hoping? They're still connected. Teom the poet is an artistic heart, and artistic hearts tend to be much more connected to the higher self. Six of Cups, what the fuck? I felt it too. Six of Cups. Something that was sweet in the past. They're remembering something that was sweet. Yep, the lovers, a sweet love from the past. My goodness. We also have the Two of Swords. I don't like how it popped out, so I think I'm going to keep it. Well, let me see. Deep contemplation. So there's two cards here of contemplation during uncertainty. All right, I'll keep it. Yeah, what did I say about the Wheel of Fortune? We get the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom. I'll get to that in a minute because we still do have to pull for the connection. So look at this. Poor Teom the poet looking off into the distance. Why? Because he's reminiscing about that Six of Cups. That beautiful, nostalgic, sweet love from the past. Maybe that person that he's remembering was different back then. This is the past was sweet, but so can the future be if you just go forward. Okay? Lately, that energy has been saying your past is not going to be there. You know, like I was talking about with the wheel turning. We even have the Wheel of Fortune here on the bottom of the deck. With the wheel turning, you cannot go backwards. Okay? There was a lesson that was coming through before about how when we lose something, we tend to freeze and we stay put emotionally, physically, however, we just tend to freeze up and stay put. And I think that is residual from when we were children. And our parents drilled into us, authority drilled into us that if you ever get lost out in public or whatever, stay put in the last place that you were together, because then your parents will circle around and find you there, right? Stay put. That we're always told when we feel lost. So I think that bleeds into our emotional security in adulthood. When we feel lost, we tend to stay put because we're hoping that person comes back to find us where they last left us, okay? But that doesn't happen because the future goes forward always. So if you're wanting that person to come back and find you, then go forward, because you're going to meet them in the future, not in the past, okay? And plus, if you stay put and that person continues on their life, they're going to be different in the future and you're going to be stuck there in the past. So never ever stay stuck in the past. Now, I'm not saying that you don't need a break. I'm not saying that you don't need healing. I'm not saying that you're not going to be a little bit scared to go forward, but you have to keep moving because time keeps moving. The wheel keeps moving. And if you try like hell to stop the wheel from moving, all you're going to do is tear up your fingers. Okay, so if you want to meet up again with that person, you have to move forward. You have to go towards the future because they're there. They're not in the past. If they were in the past, they'd be there with you, right? Think about it that way. If you want so much for them to meet you where you were and you stay stuck in the past, if they were in the past, they'd be there. You know what I'm saying? Time is really wibbly wobbly, whatever. Next, we got the lovers, and that is what they are reminiscing about. That nostalgia was for a lover's commitment, a decision made in harmony and with another. Yeah, it was sweet. The Six of Cups was a relationship, a young relationship. So this could be something that, ma'am, you are being very rude. It's not even time to eat yet. Six of Cups is a relationship that was sweet in the past because life hadn't tested it yet. Okay? Same with the lovers. It's a little more mature, but it's still entered into under good intentions. There's love there, there's equality there, there's commitment there, there's all that good shit, right? The lovers is a pure connection before life taints it, before life tests it, before the lovers turn into the devil card, okay, where they're obligated to be there. They're in where it turns toxic. So the Six of Cups is like the baby lovers, all right? So something was very, very, very sweet back in the day, or somebody is remembering it like that. Maybe it wasn't so sweet, but there wasn't an opportunity to find out because this kind of, it ended before it could be something, okay? But the potential was there, the intention was there, the emotion was there, the connection was there. It just maybe never went anywhere. If it did, then they're still like reminiscing about how sweet it was. Here on top of them, we also have the Two of Swords, but on the reverse. Okay, so this is the inner self. They're both kind of sitting there in darkness with decisions to make. This Two of Swords on the reverse is deep contemplation during a time of uncertainty. Now, on the front side, the outer self, it talks about tuning out distractions because there's a hard decision to make and weathering through inner conflict, okay? But on the back side, the moon is shining. This could be cyclical. This could be a pattern. I feel like with this Teom, the poet, it's not outside the realm of logic to say that this person falls into a cycle of thinking about this past relationship, this past connection, because it was so sweet. But you don't know what that could have turned into in the future, right? Because like I said, Six of Cups, it's like childlike. It's from the deep past, something that was around for a long time. It could be from young adulthood. Um, it could also be something that just never matured into anything. Like it could be two grown adults who had a quick connection and it never really grew into something. So it was kind of stagnated in this position of being like a very young connection. Um, but this usually means deep nostalgia. With the lovers card, it was a true lovers connection, even though this other person might not have turned on to it as quickly as person 2. So let's get for the connection, please. Clarify the sage energy for the connection. This is deep. I'm hearing it's being kept aside because this person is in toxic energy right now. That Glanketer is a very toxic energy. This is judgment, retreat, and detachment with the sage, okay? We've got a King of Swords here, or Queen, I'm sorry, we've got a Queen of Wands here with her back turned, investing into herself. Hang on. Please, okay, and we've got the Eight of Swords on the back side. That's too many. Give me one more for the connection, please. One more for this lover's connection. The Sage, detached, keeping it apart. So somebody's saying there was the world. Somebody's saying there was a conscious decision to detach from this because they didn't want the toxicity to what? Poison it. Because even though person one is very well aware of this toxic energy in them or around them, and they didn't want it to get into the connection, so they detached from it. There's detachment here in the connection. But there's also the feeling that it took inner wisdom to do that. You know? It took inner wisdom to do that. So we've got the Queen of Wands here on the backside. This is time to feel the inner fire, energy conservation. Okay, so this is inner healing. Fire energy is very expressive, right? It's very active. It can burn a lot of people around them. This person is turning that inward. Now, I'm not getting that that's in a negative way, though. I'm more getting that it's to feed themselves their own fire. Okay, maybe that is negative because they're telling me right now this is because they're selfish. Yikers. We do have an Eight of Swords here on the back side. It says, release yourself. Truth and freedom is available. I believe that's, oh boy, that's for person 2. Look how they fell here. The first card came out like this. This is towards person 1. The second card towards person 2. They do have the ability to cut themselves loose out of this. Or maybe that's still in the connection. And then we have the World card on the front side. This is Triumph and Triumph renewed, completion, and reward. So it is coming to an end. Interesting. Let's see what kind of signs we have here. We just have the Queen of Wands. That's Sagittarius. Could be any fire energy, though. Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. The Lovers is Gemini. All the other cards are a little bit lower. Let's see. We do have Earth energy here. The Four of Pentacles is Taurus energy. The Eight of Pentacles, Capricorn energy. The Eight of Cups, Pisces energy. Any of the water signs, though, could be in their chart. Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. We've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The 4 fixed signs, which is Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo. The Queen of Wands, Sagittarius. The Eight of Swords is Libra or Aquarius. Libra or Aquarius. The Two of Swords is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. The Lovers is Gemini. 6 of Cups is Cancer. Oof, that's a lot. So we got a lot of water, a couple earth, a little bit of fire, a little bit of air. So let's get this summarized here. Basically, person one is in a toxic situation, whether that's them doing it to themselves or there's some kind of fancy talk here from someone else. It's usually the Glankener to me reminds me of Grima Wormtongue whispering in the king's ear. Flattery. Yes, that is, you're absolutely right, my king. Of course. But it's all lies. It's all designed to be an ego boost or to keep them distracted from what the truth is. And the truth is that Four of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. Somebody keeping that possessiveness. They're possessive over the resources. But in this case, the resources is not only financial, but emotional too. Like I said, somebody has an energy around them that is being very stingy with the investment, whether that's just, I don't think this is just financial though with the Pentacles. I believe this is effort and dedication and intention to build something in the future. But I think this person is being asked to invest more in this illusionary future than the other person is willing to invest in them. And because of that, they feel that that is wrong. And they're sitting there in that Eight of Cups internally saying, and you can even tell in this in this card, you can tell the person is brought down to the emotional level of a child here with 8 empty cups. This is overwhelming to them because as a child, what are you supposed to do when the person that you are supposed to be taking care of you or you're supposed to be taking care of is is this is a very helpless kind of feeling, sitting there looking at these empty cups with this star, a shooting star in the background, beckoning them to go in a different direction, and they can't. So here's there could be children here because we've got two cards with a child. This one, though, is an illusion. This one feels like person one internally because, like I said, this is the front side of the card. This is an adult person walking away. This is the inner part of the inner, I'm sorry, the inner self. That person sitting there with those cups is in childlike energy. Okay? So they don't want to walk away from something that may have children involved, but also with this person, they could be feeling so vulnerable because what they invested in has been a lie. They don't feel like they can move on. Okay? Person two in this Tame the Poet, they're just reminiscing about how beautiful it was and how beautiful it can be and how much they want this to be equal. You can see that there she is in the water. This represents her being fully immersed in those emotions and beckoning to him to come and join her. Come down and enjoy it. We can feel the same way we felt before. You know, lover's energy. I love you. Come down into this emotional safe place with me. And he can't. That's that Two of Swords in the reverse. Deep contemplation during a time of uncertainty. She's questioning because if you look at it this way, like a scene, you've got the the Six of Cups and the Lovers, and then you've got her in front kind of looking at it like she's reminiscing, looking at the past, looking at a movie, and being um, in deep contemplation about it. She's uncertain about what was true. That's the thing about the Two of Swords. You're deciding what is the truth. So she's trying to decide what was true about the past. And the only thing that she can come to is that the love was true. No matter what he says, no matter where he went, I'm sorry, I know I keep saying he and she. I'm just going by the pictures on the card, but person one and person two, okay? Person two, all they know is that their love, their side of it was love. Okay? The other person is kind of caught up in some kind of glamour. I hear hammering. I hear tinkering away, trying to build a future that is an illusion. Damn, that's sad. And like I said, in the connection, it has been cut off, and somebody is kind of trying to reforge their fire within themselves. That's that Queen of Wands in the reverse, pulling energy back and trying to like light the fire underneath of them for themselves because it's been out for so long. Eight of Swords. On the backside, again, contemplation. Free yourself. The truth, free yourself. There's truth here, and freedom is available. There's that eagle there, again, Aquarius energy, seeing something from a higher perspective. And the world is going to, this is an ending, but it's positive, I believe, because the world brings reward. Okay? Let's see the bottom of the deck. Oh, Knight of Pentacles. Oh, those so fucking slow. Yeah, somebody's wasting their time here. Unmoving, tired of waiting, but a missed opportunity and disappointed. Bam. What did I say about that missed opportunity? That's that shooting star going by. We've also got the Six of Pentacles. Okay, noble intentions and charity. Distribution of resources for the greater good. That's what they missed. Because on the back side of that card, it's talking about strings attached to a commitment. That's Six of Pentacles. Yep, there was an agenda here. Control bought with compassion, but there was strings attached to this Six of Pentacles. So there was that equal distribution. A lot of earth energy on this side. Maybe person one has Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy here, along with a little tiny bit of water. But that Six of Pentacles talking about equality, even though the person that is in their energy with that Four of Pentacles is not investing at the same level that they are. One is investing at an 8, one is investing at a 4, right? In order to make that equal, the other person puts strings attached to it. And then on the next card is the Empress, but in the reverse. Okay. This is even abundance ends. So, I mean, they're fighting to like, this is going to end because it came out here in the middle on top of the world card. They're going to figure out that whatever they were investing in is going to come to an end and there's not going to be anything there because those Eight Pentacles are an illusion. So this Empress, usually it's abundance, needs and desires met and fulfilled. But on the backside, it's talking about think of the future. Think of the future because even abundance ends. So they have to make a big decision about what are they building and what kind of strings are attached to this. Dang, that person one kind of really overtook the reading a little bit. So yeah, that's what I have. Person one's kind of caught in something that's not really going to pan out. I think they kind of know it, but there's not really much they can emotionally do here. Why? Because that Eight of Cups is connected to a Six of Pentacles on the backside, which is that strings attached, you know, agenda here. And person two is sitting there alone in their memories, waiting, waiting. So let's get an oracle message for these two. I'm not even gonna get love quotes because this has already run too long. So let's just get an oracle message for these two, please. I wish we could get an outcome, but you know, there's no. I mean, that Knight of Pentacles is killing me. That's what, you know. That's the slowest ass knight in the whole deck. Sometimes what holds him up is that he's so meticulous and methodical and planning. This is Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energy. Everything has to be right. And it's hard for people like that to understand that no, everything cannot be perfect. You just have to move. And that horse is dead still. I feel there's a lack of direction here. That's why he doesn't move. There may be a lack of direction here. I don't know where to go. Because like I said, with that Eight of Cups, that person who needs to move is in a childlike energy. And what was I talking about earlier about when a child feels lost, they stay put. And that's exactly what that person is doing. Look at them in the card. Staying put. Okay, we've got Medicine Mother here. Honor your inner knowing. Let's see what she has to say. Let me find it. Okay. Honor your inner knowing. Somebody knows exactly what they have to do. They have to honor that. It says take action. Do what you know you need to do. There's an old pattern rising up in you now, and it's time to deal with it and release it for good. You're being encouraged to love and respect yourself enough to take the steps you know you need to take to move closer to where you would like to be. You already know the answers. You know what you need to do. You may have been using delaying tactics, Knight of Pentacles. You may have been using delaying tactics or holding back, but now you're being guided to take action. Action requires courage, but your angels and guides are bringing you the courage to move forward. Take just one step. When you do, the next one will be presented to you. So remember when I was saying about the Knight of Pentacles standing still, going, I don't know which way to go. I don't know where to go. And every step has to be careful. They're saying you're not going to be able to know everything about where you're going, but just take the first step towards the connection, towards the person waiting for you who has no agenda. But the only agenda here is equality and love. Take the first step away from the toxicity, and the next step will be shown to you. Okay? I hope that resonated with somebody. If it did, take a moment and leave me a thumbs up. Any kind of feedback or signal boost is greatly appreciated. In the description, you'll find my email, my Venmo, and my Cash App. I am available for personal readings and birth chart inquiries. So you'll find all that in the description. What do we have coming up next? I might add something extra. Tomorrow we've got the morning energies and then a hidden truth reading, but I kind of want to move up the Aquarius reading before the moon reading. So we'll see how this all plays out. I do want to get to Aquarius before the moon, but that's what I have. So until I see you, thank you so much for sticking with me. I'm sorry I stutter so badly. Until I see you again in the next reading. Okay, thanks. Bye.